Good morning, this is Paul Chek. Welcome back to my video blog. Today with me is Angie Lustrick. Some of you who have been to HLC 1 or 2 will know her as a fantastic instructor. And Angie's also a shaman that does a lot of these practices, and we practice a lot of these things together. So today I wanted to introduce you to another concept. We've talked about meditation and meditation tips. My last blog covered zone exercises and how to apply those technologies. And today we would like to talk about and share methods for listening to silence, which is of course a paradox because most of us would think that there's nothing to hear in silence, but it's actually paradoxically quite the opposite. It's abundant, and as long as you can get your ego, practice letting go of your ego so that you know it's not you projecting thoughts. What should I have for dinner? Does she love me? Will I get my raise? Those are projections of the ego, and with a little practice you can become very aware of when you're the, shall we say, the impetus behind your own thoughts. In my Primal Pattern Eating webinar, which is on audio recording, if any of you want to practice the method of soul connection, I teach you different techniques than we're showing here for learning how to connect with the silence within yourself, but it is the ultimate intelligence at the same time that it is silence. It's the wholeness within. It's silent because the wholeness is a perfect balance of the masculine and the feminine. It doesn't have needs, just loves to create. So when you learn to get connected to that inner silence, you can post a question as an intention, begin your meditation, and once you enter the silence, what rises up in you that is not of your own projection, not your own questions or dialogue, usually can be identified as the voice of the soul, because the information that you gain by vision, by inner hearing, inner sensation, or just a sense of knowing is consistently wiser, more creative, and more incredible than what our ego generates. So you would look at it and say, I didn't author that. So for example, when I'm doing rock work and I let my soul guide me, the things that I create, I look at and go, I could have never created that if my mind tried to do it. So today we're going to use a very simple technique where we're going to rattle and encourage you to listen to the rattles, and then there will be silence. Then we will rattle, and then there will be silence. Just enjoy hearing the rattles and being really present with the sound of the rattles, but then when we stop rattling, enjoy the chance to just let your mind relax, just like you would after a hard set in the gym, and just let your muscles relax as you sit on a bench for 3 minutes or something like that. When you're paying attention to the rattles, that's like lifting the weight. When the rattles stop, that's when you just let the mind, the ego mind, just relax. Just even visualize yourself just laying on the floor and having a short nap. Then the rattle, pay attention, back to the lift, the focus, the masculine, then into the silence, the feminine. So here we go. that's just a nice, simple introduction. Think of the ego like a dog that likes to chase after balls and cars and objects. Give it something to latch on to, engage it, work it a little bit, and then pause. And with equal honesty, let go and just celebrate that you don't have to worry about saving yourself, saving the world. It'll all be right here in 10 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, 10 minutes, or even a lifetime. It's a little bit of regular practice. If you remember my picture where I showed you the two snakes, we engage the snakes, let them dance, and then say, I can disengage the snakes and be present with the unspeakable potential. When the dog wants to run and chase, let it run and chase. When you're ready for a rest, then pause. So the neat thing about this practice is it's not like going to the gym and lifting weights or having to study or take notes or memorize stuff from books. This is the process of letting go and coming to the understanding that the acquisition of knowledge on specific things is very, very narrow. You can study the enzymatic processes of a given biochemical reaction and go way, way deep into that and still know nothing about why it is that you breathe or how you got here. We'll call it a PhD. But the opposite of that is to go into silence and allow your mind to relax and expand. And as your mind relaxes and expands, it envelops the whole of Sophia, of wisdom itself. Then paradoxically, magically, somehow you know the answer to questions and you understand processes that you've never actually physically looked up. It just rises out of you as a sense of intuitive knowing. It's a hard transition for the intellectual mind to make. But all I can do is share with you that my own experiences is that I've been, when I paint, I try to get out of the ego and just go into whatever wants to come out. And I'm often looking at that going, wow, that's an amazing message from something very deep inside of me that I could have never conjured up intellectually. So in closing, if you don't have any rattles, just put some beans in a glass jar or a tin can, or just clap. Or to use an Osho technique, go crazy for a few minutes and then let go of the craziness. So thanks for joining us today. By the way, this is Maggie. She's a master at meditation. And many of the things that we are sharing with you, we learned from her. And we'll save more of her teachings for you soon. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.